All right, and then let me just do something here. Hello, everybody.
Yo, what it is? Are you ready to read some extremely old comics?
Yeah. um, Tim, yeah. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand, our Friday edition. Of course, this is our weekly historical comics retrospect. I have Tim Olson with me as my co-host this week. We're going to be looking this week. We're going to be looking at comics that went on sale in October of 1939. Um, um, in October of 1939, from what would eventually become Archie Comics, what was known at the time as MLJ Enterprises. Um, we'll be introducing you to some of the heroes we'll be featuring, and then we will go ahead and get into the reading. Now, I do have to step away from the camera for a moment to take care of some stuff. Tim, if you want to introduce yourself and talk about any projects you want to do, you're doing, share any links or anything like that, go for it.
All right, all right, you degenerates. Listen up here. I'm working on Melvin 3. It will be launching July 29th on Fund My Comic. And also, uh, remember to sign up. So everybody's got time. I'll make sure to find the links and put it in the private so Mike can do his thing and put it in the chat. Also, I'll be working with Rob Ewing to bring you Melvin number 0. Isn't that nice? Awesome. And Mike's still not back, so I'm gonna have to continue talking. Let's see if anybody's there. Anybody there yet? No. Okay. Oh wait, there is a comment. Awesome. What's up, JR? Hail Lord Xenu. Okay. Apparently Xeno knows all. Awesome. I don't know shit.
Alrighty then, I'm back. You said you were gonna put your link, I guess, in the private chat so I could share.
Yep. Hold on. I'm getting them now. Man. You just do your thing. Don't worry. I'll get them.
Yeah. And as always, guys, if you can remember to like and share the stream so we can get some more friendly people in here, that would really help. Also, if anything that we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will do the best I can to um,
Did you
to.
know? Did you know though, Mike, that Lord Xenu knows all?
That's what I've heard.
That's the word on the street.
Yeah, yeah. That's
That's,
Xenu is JR's favorite god, I guess.
well, I guess so. It each their own, I guess. God bless America.
I'm proud to be an American, where at
Well,
least
at
I
least I
know
know I can pee. I can see. Um,
I won't forget the men who died and gave their life for me. Now gladly stand up next to you and remember till the day. I'm God bless the USA.
take a whiz for freedom.
All right, so there we go. So you guys might want to check that out for Tim there. So with that, why don't we go ahead and get started? So as I said, we're gonna first off just take some quick looks at some of the characters we'll be looking at tonight. Be going over here. Let me get that all up there. and we'll get to the actual reading. Okay. Well, let's see now. Bob Phantom. There's one of the guys we'll be looking at tonight. Earth MLJ.
Oh wait, hold on. I also put the link. There's a link to the sign up and the link to the actual campaign page. They're both separate. There's issues with the sign up page actually on the campaign page, so I had to make a separate page for that.
Okay.
JR is going to lay out a deuce for freedom. God bless you. I salute you, sir. You can't see this, but I'm saluting you.
All right. Let's see now. All right, so there's the other link that Tim asked me to put up for him. So, all right, so again, it looks like they don't put a whole lot of. Here we go. So this is Bob Phantom right here, whose real name was Walter Whitney. Kind of funny because we have two characters with the real names Whitney. So his powers, Bob Phantom's powers, include teleportation. Bob Phantom had the power to teleport with a rush of wind, a swirl of smoke, and he appears. Classic, huh there, Tim?
I guess so.
Intangibility. Bob Phantom demonstrated the ability to become intangible to allow bullets to pass through him without harming him. Superhuman strength. Bob Phantom also demonstrated a limited amount of superhuman strength, enough to pulverize concrete blocks with his hands. Invulnerability. Let's see. Equipment has been known to carry smoke pellets. Notes. Bob Phantom killed villain Joe Chisler by throwing him out of a window.
Chisler.
Jinx Friday is his secretary. So that's all for that part right now. So now let's go over to because actually no actually there was one other character I think I could look at, going back to that a bit there. Let's see. And we're gonna probably read Silver Fox here too, but just they don't have a page for him. So Corporal Collins, the other one we're gonna read from Blue Ribbon here. James Collins, his real name. Not much information there. History of character has not yet been written. Okay. Basically, I think he was a corporal in the army, but we'll be reading Bob Phantom, Silver Fox, and Corporal Collins here. And then the other feature, of course, that's all in Blue Ribbon, Volume 1, Number 2. So now we're going to go over to Top Notch. Oh, wait. Oops. I guess I forgot the comics part. Yeah. Here, Volume 1, Number 1. Now, that's the character I was telling you about before the show there, Tim. That's the wizard right there. And his name's Whitney, too, but Blaine Whitney. I won't read I don't read the biographies usually unless they're real short, because usually the biographies will be shown in the intro story, usually. So, powers. Cosmic awareness. He has a super sensitive brain, which enables him to see photogenic visions of the future. Precognition, clairvoyance, photographic memory. Telepathy, hypnosis, superhuman strength. He takes capsules to gain super strength. And like our man with the miracle pill. hand-to-hand combat, he is a formidable opponent in jiu-jitsu. And in superhuman strength, he takes capsules, gains superhuman strength. Transportation, he has a neutral plane, which can transform into a rocket ship. And Mo the Cabbie is his personal cabbie. He has an arsenal of different types of ray guns, an endless supply of secret formula F22X, which could melt walls, metal bars, etc. Only Roy and the Shield knew his dual identity until he married Jane. So these are notes we'll probably see more of in the. With that, let's see. Oh yeah. There was one. I think at least one other. Oh yeah, West Pointer. That's the other one that I wanted to focus in on. All right, so Keith Cornell here, West Pointer, and not really much is known about him either. But anyways, so with that, now that we've got through the hey Woody, and let's see. All right, so let's see. Woody's here. Yay, Woody! Freedom. Yep. All right. Well, with that, why don't we go ahead and get going to get ready to do some reading here. You back now, Tim?
Yep.
All right. So now we're gonna go to Blue Ribbon Comics number for the 1939 version, number 2. I was gonna read Rangatang again, but I wanted to get some of these newer characters in as well. So we read Rangatang last time. So
Wait, is that the wizard? Scroll up to the top.
no, that wasn't. I don't think it. Oh wait, might have been a. Oh, but this was an ad page.
Yeah, but scroll down a little bit. I noticed something. You think they got the idea for Doctor Strange from this guy?
Huh?
Well, I mean, without, of course, the bow tie and all that, but the cape and everything and the way his face looks.
Well, as a wizard, of course, if you think about it, he's dressed. A lot of stage magician heroes dress this way. The wizard, Mandrake.
Santana what's her name?
Well, you're thinking of
Zatara or something like that.
Zatara.
Yeah.
Zatara.
Yeah.
Is who you're probably thinking of ultimately, and I was just about to mention him. Yeah, but
wasn't that her though?
This guy had his suit all white. Solves all plots against the government, but the plotters cannot solve his plot against them. Featured every month in top-notch comics on your newsstands now. So there's Rangatang. Nice and bright here too, huh?
Yeah. Kind of your standard, they left nothing. They didn't really throw in any surprises with comic books in those days.
Well, it was a medium that was still getting going too.
Yeah, it was still evolving, but I mean that's one thing I noticed about these old comics is they really left nothing to your imagination, and they were just kind of.
Well, I don't know if you saw any of the show last week where Terry and I were talking about like a lot of the adjectives that Marvel would use in their comics.
Was that like an old school Dick Tracy? That guy's
No,
smoking.
I think
That guy's smoking.
I think that was Scoop Cody, who's like a reporter type character.
Hey, that guy was smoking his
Sugar,
eyeballs.
honey, and hugging. Anthropomorphic characters there. Portograms in the corner, Billy Kahn. Did you know? Here we go. Bob Phantom, the scourge of the underworld. Yeah, that seemed to be a phrase that was used a lot, wasn't it? Back then. Scourge of the underworld. All right, so here we go. In a basement dive in the Lower East Side, the Purple Gang taunt their captured double-crossing mouthpiece. First, we put his feet in a tub like this. Then we pour in sand, cement, and water. Listen, Butch, I can square this thing. The concrete has set around the victim's feet. Kind of the idea that they're gonna maybe make him.
Oh, that's just great. It's a tutorial on how to kill someone.
What was that, Tim?
Oh, that's awesome. It's a tutorial on how to kill someone. Everybody, take note. First, you make cement, and then what then? You throw them in water, watch them drown.
Yeah. Nobody's stopping you, Mr. Double Crosser. You can take a powder if you want to. Ha ha. Please, Butch, let me out of this.
Oh, hey, Rick, what's up?
Rick's here. Hey, Rick. Hey, Rick. Thanks for joining us. You guys can like and share the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything grabs your attention, feel free, of course, to comment.
Hashtag no douchebags.
And we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. All right. We'll be down to the river in half an hour. And give that double dealer his mount.
Wait in the wall.
Dropping immediately ahead of the truck, the Phantom appears out of nowhere. Did you see what I saw? Spooks. Arriving at the river, the gang's truck drives onto the pier. It'll be all over in a little while. I didn't like that spook. Stop! This is murder. This is bad, Butch. I'm telling you. Yellow, eh? Afraid of spooks? Let's see. Despite the Phantom's warning, Butch carries out his plan. You can't get away with it, Butch. Butch, this ain't copacetic. Yeah, Butch. Let's skip it. There's no spooks scaring me. Before the mouthpiece's body sinks, Bob Phantom's strong arms reach out to save him. See, I told you, Butch. Yeah, spokes is bad medicine. Carrying the limp body ashore, Bob Phantom puts it into the gang's truck and drives to a lonely spot where he removes the concrete. Hey, thanks, fella. What do I owe you? Nothing. Nothing. Just hide out until you hear from me and promise to stay on the side of the law. He's gone, evaporated before my eyes. Broadway by Walt Whitney, side tip. It is purported along the Great White Way that day. Dan Danning, kid mouthpiece for the Purple Gang, was encased in concrete block and drowned in the East River last night. Meanwhile, in another part of town, this must stop. I've become the laughing stock of the town. You can't find the Purple Gang, but a gossip columnist can report their wanton activities day by day. On the other side of town, I'm telling you, Butch, we'd better take it on the law, on the lam. No racket-busting DA is going to run me out of town. On the district attorney's orders, the police lay a dragnet for the Purple Gang. Now, mind you, this is probably one of the first groups to be called like the Purple Gang, but it's not the last. Did you know that, Tim?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, isn't that like a gang that made up gang for DC Comics?
The term Purple Gang has been used on quite a few occasions. So you think you can get away with it, eh, Butch? Let him have it, boys. No use. Nothing can hurt the Phantom.
Except for bullets. Ouch. Okay.
Gee, he went up in smoke. Gone. Every squad has reported, Chief. Not a single clue to the gang's hideout was found. I had enough of the Phantom, Butch. I'm lambing. Me too. Flash, while the district attorney was blaming the police and police were passing the buck to the DA for the failure to find Purple Gang, a mysterious Phantom has been scaring the daylights out of the gang. Several of them were seen not down to meet a train. They were there to catch one. Teehee. Get 'em, boys. You better give up. Butch. The police are closing in. You asked for it, boys. That's enough for me, Aunt Butch. I'm lambing. Now, Tim, do you know what the term lambing means here? What it means to go on the lam?
Yes, to go on the run. I could look up a more official term. What does
No, but
Go.
the point is just context clues and just understanding what's being written.
Yes. Doesn't mean we can't have the actual definition. If someone is going on the lam, they are trying to escape or hide from someone. For example, police or an enemy.
Right.
It's not really. It's not really. It's. I mean, it's connected usually to running from the police, but it can also mean that if somebody, an enemy or anybody that you're trying to hide out from.
Next day, as Butch is about to leave his hideout, he again meets the Phantom. Better give yourself up, Butch. The cops won't give you the workout that I'm going to give you every day. Bob Phantom, will you never get in here? Oh, wait. Bob Phantom will never get in here. Butch was wrong again, for Bob Phantom appeared instantly. Butch was inside. So he kind of is like a phantom, isn't he? We're discovering.
Yep.
Ugh, oh, ouch, stop. Are you going to give yourself up, Butch? Bob Phantom disappears. The gangster is on the floor, bruised, battered, bleeding. Flash! It was exclusively learned by your New York correspondent today that Butch Brady, leader of the Purple Gang, will give himself up to the DA. Well, Butch, here's the DA's office. You won't see me anymore, but I'll be with you just the same. Yeah, right. Butch is in jail. Ha ha. I guess old Walt Whitney scooped the town again. All right, and there we go. So, what did you think of that story, Tim?
It was all right.
Devils of the Deep.
It was more of the same thing you suspect from most other of these stories.
Well, that was kind of a basic superhero foray. Secret assignments. Oh, the Silver Fox. Here we go. Here's the next feature. One afternoon in a big city police station. How did you ever get the name Silver Fox, Chief? It's a peculiar thing about that. I've had the streak in my hair since my high school days. But no one ever called me the Silver Fox until several years ago on a um, millionaire's estate. Looks like murder. Looks like murder to me. Could be suicide. The local police were baffled. It's murder. It's murder, all right. But why? No motive. No clues. Dissatisfied with the work of the local police, the Morton family weigh a decision. I think we should engage a private detective. I do too, but whom? Recalling the much publicized work of a Western detective in the Hollywood movie star mystery, How about How about that great detective who solved the Jane Jordan case in Hollywood? Young Martha Morton makes a long distance call. I'll take a plane this afternoon. You can expect me tomorrow. Over the snow-capped Sierras, wings that giant airliner eastward. Have you arriving in Newark? I guess that's Newark, New Jersey. Silver Fox is besieged by reporters. Have you any statement to make, Chief? Any clowns to work on? Just write the same old story, boys. An arrest is expected in 24 hours. Wow, what a statement right there! An arrest. He comes in, doesn't really know much more about the case than what was probably told to him over the phone, and he's already saying that he's going to arrest the suspect in 24 hours. What do you think of that, Tim? Hmm. Looks like I guess he must have left it. I'm back. Be right back. All right, so I guess he had to step away again there. But anyways, we'll continue on with the story here. So let's take care of something here. All right, so with that, let's see now. All right, so anyways, away from the airports, through the Holland Tunnel, and on to Long Island, speeds the Silver Fox in a car. This looks like a good place. The only real clues are the footprints outside the window and this watch. What makes you think that this match is a clue? Oh, on this match, okay. Well, Father didn't smoke. He couldn't stand the smell of smoke, which means that the servants wouldn't dare smoke, and since there were no visitors, it must have been the murderers. The Silver Fox uh, calls the first bit of evidence. Examining the footprints he finds, these prints show the murderer's path from the window to the roadway. I wouldn't bet on that if I were you. He called in the servants for questioning. Make yourselves comfortable. Smoke if you'd like. Mr. Mr. Morton was a fine man. I I didn't kill him. Neither did I, sir. I was in bed at the time. Leaving the Morton home hurriedly, The Silver Fox drives toward New York City. And parks outside police headquarters. Permission to look. Why? You can take the files with you. Revealing his identity, the Fox requests for reasons of his own. The Silver Fox peruses the records for 1919, giving each page only a cursory examination. He suddenly takes pause at the sight of wanted by Scotland Yard, Chauncey Bellingsgate, alias George the Gip, for a long string of robberies in the British Isles. I wonder. Phoning the Bureau of Immigration, the Silver Fox learns, yes, our records show that a Chauncey Billingsgate immigrated here from Canada in 1925. Two hours later, at the Morton home, reconstructing the crime in a short, quickly delivered summary, the Fox points to the butler. And you, Chansley Billingsgate, alias George the Gip, are the murderer of Mr. Morton. After he has been handcuffed by the police, you got me. I did it. He threatened to expose me. And this is the way I solved it. The solution. He tells them about the match Morton's daughter gave him. This was not used to light a cigar or cigarette. It's almost wholly burnt a pipe smoker. He noticed something peculiar about the footprints. The toes are dug in deeper than the heels. The murderer's walk. The murderer walked backwards. He deduced it was an inside job, that the murderer never left the house. Because walking backwards, he at once made his entry while establishing false evidence of escape. So that was the trick, huh? He walked backwards to make it look like he actually used. That's how he escaped. Tim, you back yet? Huh. Wonder where Tim's at. Anyways, as we continue on here, coming in through the window, he murdered Old Man Morton. Then he sneaked to his room through the servants' back staircase and went to bed. When I had When I had ascertained which of the servants smoked a pipe, I knew I had the murderer. But how did you come
Oh,
to?
sorry, Mike. I'm. It's dinner time at the same time as it is your show time. So
So you're grabbing some eats then? Have you been able to
yeah.
listen in on the story that we're going over here?
I was going to wait for you to recap.
Uh, but how did you come to examine the police files for 1919? The case reminded him of one he had heard about while in England after the World War. I played a hunch, and it was correct. One of the reporters covering the case turned me the Silver Fox, and that's how I got the name. Well, Chief, you certainly ain't no plum. Okay, all right. So there we go with that one. So did you catch any more than just the end part of that, Tim? Or
No, I came in at that point, so you'll have to recap. I do apologize.
yeah, basically, the story we just read was basically he's kind of I guess you can say he's kind of a private detective called Silver Fox, and um, they were asking some of the police were asking how he got the name Silver Fox, and he was kind of recounting to them how he got the name Silver Fox. A reporter gave it to him when he was investigating the murder of a rich guy, and found out that it was a guy from Scotland who ended up murdering, who was disguised as a butler. He felt he had the bad guy in this case felt he had to murder the old man because the old man was going to expose him. So, anyways, now we'll move on to Corporal Collins here, infantryman. Let's see. It looks like we're making good time thus far. Oh, look at that, Tim. Look at the guy's right sleeve right there. You see that?
Wait a minute. I thought they were trying to stay out of the war.
But weren't you the one who was saying that there were some people? I think the government was, but there were people in like comics who had otherwise.
Well, but you notice how they never really fully out mentioned the whole.
Yeah. The conditions laid down by your government are impossible, Monsieur.
Wait a minute. You notice he's French. He's not
Yeah,
German.
and they got him wearing a Nazi armband.
Maybe they snuck that in and was wondering if people would notice.
Maybe we don't know. Then I'm left without an alternative. I must inform you that a state of war exists between our countries. Extra! War declared! Extra! Jim Collins, stranded in Paris, reads the war news. He decides to fight for France. They need you now. Have you ever served in the army, sir? Back in the States, I was a corporal in the ROTC. Since you were a corporal in the ROTC, we too will make you a corporal. Thank you, Captain. So, basically, an American citizen becoming a soldier for France.
Wait a minute. Yeah, so it's a French soldier, but he's got a swastika. And wait, what was the name of the? He didn't say the Nazi Party. He said something else. What was it again?
Corporal Collins, or
No, the organization that he's joining. They called him something else, didn't they?
he decides to fight. Oh, ROTC. Well, he said that he was a corporal in the ROTC, and they made him a corporal in their army. He had
Oh,
previous in the States. He had previously been in the ROTC. On swarm, mon chéri. We're off to the front. Let the Jerrys have it.
oh.
And get look there, another swastika. Subtle, aren't they?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So, America's not involved in the war yet. That's actually a pretty violent picture there for a comic book. Look at that. Look at some guys like burning or something.
Yeah, you got a burning plane, I think, or something.
Yeah, and he's like choking or something. But so yeah, they have this is an American comic, but this guy's fighting with the French to fight the Germans. And obviously this is like what, early in the war?
It was 1939, so this was probably early in because America didn't get involved until 1941.
Yeah, but when did things start heating up in Europe?
Well, the war started in Europe in 1939.
Yeah, so this is like a new conflict right there where we're trying to stay out of it.
Yeah. They can't take it, boys. We hit one, and the rest take a quick powder. Hear that, boys? Sounds like more Foxers to me. No, monsieur. No, monsieur. It is your imagination. It's my imagination, huh? Those other guys went home and got their big brothers. Dig in, boys. Get your parachutes. Get your parachutes. Guys, you're going to need them. Look at them go. Here we go. Here we are, boys. The front line. Later in the dugout, and no, that's not the baseball meaning of the term dugout. I believe
And that's not a euphemism for, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a foxhole. That's another term for foxhole.
And that's not a euphemism for, you know.
Anyways, you have an admirable record, Corporal. I have called you here because of it. We need men of your experience. We start an offensive at dawn. I want you to lead our troops over the top. At your service, sir. Get ready, 1 minute to 0. Let's get 'em, boys. Here we come. Possessing a sixth sense, which warns him of danger. Collins can move out of a bullet's path. Come out in the open, you rats. with a Fabry steel flexible repeller, his own invention. Corporal Collins sends the enemy um, bullets back to their own line. Right back at you, dogs.
Kind of interesting. So are these like Americans going over to fight, help France fight?
It could be. I think in the case of Corporal Collins, that's the case.
Yeah, isn't it kind of interesting? Is that the same as like Americans going over to fight for I don't know uh what's that? That's that place that Russia's attacking currently.
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Ukraine.
Well, I couldn't tell you.
Although I'd argue the Ukrainians barely need our help.
Yeah. Well, there's. It's kind of funny because the conservative establishment might say that the Russians are no, the conservative establishment would say that the Russians are the good guys and the Ukrainians are the bad guys, and the Democrats would say that the Ukrainians are the good guys and the Russians are the bad guys. So,
Well, I would say neither one of them are bad or good. I say that maybe Russia should consider what they're doing, reevaluate, and probably not.
mm-hmm.
Um, but the bigger picture would be that it's interesting how China's kind of stepping back and kind of watching Russia and what they're doing wrong.
Huh. Oh, did you put some more links up?
It's the same link, so if you want to
Oh.
repeat that, so people, the more people sign up, the better. I'm in hustle mode, so I'm doing whatever I do to get
Yeah. Okay.
to make the cheddar.
All
Eventually.
right. Well, let's see. We also have Jason Myers. Hey, Jason, what's your favorite Watership Down? I don't know. What's your favorite Cowslips Warren?
I have not the foggiest notion what that man is talking about.
He, it's funny. He has this tendency of just asking some pretty random stuff. A lot of times, and
Oh, I say that's all right. You do you, man. You do you. It's all good. It's all love, brother.
yeah. All right, so I'm putting your links in, Tim, for you. All right, so there are some links for you guys if you guys want to check out some of Tim's stuff. Um, Anyways, as we continue on with this, let's see. 10 yards away, a figure sneaks toward the corporal. Ein, zwei, drei. I think that's German for 1, 2, 3. Leaping high in the air, like he used to do when he played first base for.
Oh, is he like a baseball player that's fighting a battle and he's using
Maybe.
his baseball skills?
And when America did get into the war, a number of Major League Baseball players, including including Hall of Famers Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio, did actually sign up to go and participate in the war. So Minnesota Collins catches the grenade. Now Minnesota at this time was not a major league team; it was a minor league team. Um, the Minneapolis Millers, I believe, who they were known as. Um, so have a dose of your own medicine. Ah, my such hospitality. Tisk tisk. Ah, Good for 3 bases. Keep them lifted. The war's over for you guys. Das ist dine ende. Oh yeah, why you skunks? And you don't hear people calling. You don't hear people using that insult too much anymore, do you, Tim? Skunks. You
I've
stinker.
never heard that at all.
It was probably more back in these days. They would use, they'd use rats, they'd use dogs, they'd use skunks. And instead of the expletives that we know of today, they would use animals as insults. Kind of a funny thing. Let's see. The lesson one. Heinz, never fight an American with your fist. For your bravery, the Croix de Guerre. Merci beaucoup, mon général. Follow the thrilling adventures of Corporal Collins in the next issue. What did you think of that one, Tim?
Interesting. Wasn't it kind of general consensus that most Americans wanted to stay out of the war?
That's what I've been hearing from people. That's I've heard from people. I think even you've made that argument before. But there were probably a few in the entertainment industry that felt we should get involved. But anyway, so now we're gonna go and look through some stories from a couple of stories from Top Notch, the Wizard and there's one other one. Oh yeah, bright and colorful those pages are. Hey Tim. Good scans this time around.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All right. So, anyways. That only 2070. Okay, so here's Top Notch Oh yeah, the West Pointer. That was the other one we were going to read from here. So in this issue, the Wizard, the man with the super brain. That's the cover date, December. Thrills, action, adventure. Also, the West Pointer, Air Patrol, Sky Raiders of the Western Front, the Mystic, Ring-a-Ting, the Wonder Dog. Kind of one of the early canine heroes here, Ring-a-Ting. The Wizard, the man with the super brain. He solves all plots against the government, but the plotters cannot solve his plot against them. Blaine Whitney, great-great-grandson of General Stephen Whitney, who was Washington's chief aide in the Revolutionary War, is entertaining a group of cafe social society friends at his Park Avenue home. So again, another rich playboy who decides to go and play hero, huh? Huh, Tim?
Yeah. That's going to be quite a few. One in particular that's famous.
Yep. Yep. You are wanted on the phone, sir. Long distance from Washington. Thank you, Jeeves. Excuse me, Jane. Yeah, Jane. I think is that Jane or Janie? Jane. Now look at him right there. I just realized this.
Yep.
Does he remind you of anybody?
Tony Stark, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He kind of looks like the way they drew. Granted, this is long before Tony Stark was even created, but he kind of reminds me of Tony Stark right there. The Jacksonian government. That's too important for discussion over the phone. Better tell me about it over the radio wave scrambler. Preparing. Let's see. Oh, repairing to his laboratory, the wizard tunes in the Naval Intelligence microwave transmitter in Washington. The radio device, which scrambles the waves beyond recognition when broadcast and reassembles them when received is the wizard's own invention. The wizard's brother, Grover Whitney, who is chief of the Naval Intelligence Service, informs the wizard of the plot. Just received information of Jacksonian plot to blow up American submarine fleet at base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Investigate immediately. Look at this. Did you catch that, Tim?
Yes, Pearl Harbor.
Like 2 years before it actually happened.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. I think there was another story where Pearl Harbor was used too as a setting before it actually happened. Investigate. When did a Whitney ever fail the U.S. government in an emergency? Did any member of the Whitney family ever fail Uncle Sam? In 1776, General Stephen Whitney, covering General Washington's retreat from Long Island at the head of the famous Pennsylvania line, clears the way to Valley Forge. In 1812, Captain Ambrose Whitney, in command of an American privateer, captures a British merchantman heavily loaded with munitions. Privateer, what do you think privateer means, Tim?
I'm not quite sure. Let me look that up. Okay, a privateer, an armed ship owned by an officered by private individuals holding a government commission and authorized for use in war, especially in capturing of enemy merchant shipping.
All right, and then what's munitions here?
Munitions?
Yeah.
Isn't that armaments?
Yep, that's armaments.
Yeah, so they obviously would board ships and then
yeah, probably trying to put a dent in munition smuggling for a certain country. In 1865, Major Thomas Whitney accepts General Lee's sword at Appomattox Courthouse on behalf of General Grant to end the war between the states. So in their universe, Whitney's had a long history of serving the United States there. It looks like. In 1870, James Whitney, federal Indian agent, signs a peace treaty with Indians, putting to end Indian raids for all time. In 1898, Ensign Thomas Whitney Jr., a member of Lieutenant Hobson's valiant volunteer crew, is drowned in Havana Harbor after sinking the American gunboat in the narrow channel, which coops up the Spanish Armada. In 1918, well, it looks like you got a little doggy there trying to get attention, eh, Tim?
Oh, that's Lexus. She's pretty demanding.
In 1918, Lieutenant John Whitney falls in France as he leads American expeditionary forces over the top to take the Hindenburg Line. Thus, we see that for 7 generations, at least one member of the family has served heroically the United States of America. While the war is still raging in Europe in 1918, 14-year-old Blaine Whitney begins to show signs of mental wizardry. So, 1918, he was 14 at that time, so that meant that he was born in 1904. So, if we're to take this as present day in terms of the comics, he's probably about 35 in the story here. Just an interesting little tidbit there. Now to give it a test. That is soon to make him the greatest brain power on Earth. If this burns through the steel, wow, we can sink the whole German Navy.
So even though America wasn't in the war, there were certain comics where they had individuals that were fighting the
Pushing for
Germans.
them to get into the war, it would seem, yeah. But, the young mental wizard is presented to President Wilson. Mr. President, this is the young man I told you about, Master Blaine Whitney. This is Woodrow Wilson, by the way, for those who may not know. My boy, you seem to possess unrivaled brain power. You must be careful never to use it for bad, only for good. Unlike Alexei Luthor, who uses it for bad. Dedicate your life as your ancestors dedicated theirs to the service of your country. Remembering the advice of President Wilson, the young wizard returns home, doggedly set in the resolve to give his life to his country. Meanwhile, out at sea, the Navy makes tests with the wizard's powerful chemical. Look at that steel burn. It's melting like butter. The wizard's mystery chemical burns the steel. 1,000. Let me get this out of the way. 1,000 times faster than an acetylene torch. Armistice signed. Before the wizard's mystery chemical can be enlisted in the service of the USA, the war ends. Peace reigns over the world. Once again, young Blaine Whitney, the wizard, attends high school. The young wizard has finished high school and is now attending college. The instructors marvel at his brilliance. He not only excels in study, but also becomes an all-around athlete, and his skill wins many a college game for the school. Wow, quite a master of all trades, huh? He is a clean-cut young man and is also popular with the young ladies. Yeah, that can cause a lot of jealousy, huh there, Tim?
Sure.
Working late under the moonlight, um, Mazda's under the midnight Mazdas, the wizard designs a supercharged motor that will do almost 500 miles per hour. The wizard orders a car built to his specifications, omits a few vital parts from the plans, and the machine is a source of merriment to the mechanics at the plant. I wonder, will that thing run? I don't know, but we've got the order, and his rich papa is paying the bill. They laughed, did they? Well, we'll see who laughs when I get this supercharger in. Now to see what she'll do. Through the night, the wizard speeds westward. Whee! 300 miles an hour at the rate I've been driving. I must be in the vicinity of Kansas. With daylight, the wizard's car painted with a chemical of his own creation, um, takes the color of the atmosphere and is invisible. Gosh, Zeke, what was that? Dunno, Jack, but it's gone fast. With the passage of time, the wizard grows to maturity and is graduated from the university. He begins his new life, that of a man about town. He is known even to everyone in cafe society as Blaine Whitney, a polo-playing playboy, but to his brother Grover, chief of the Naval Intelligence um, Service, he is known as what he is, the Wizard, the greatest brain power on Earth. And now we continue with our story. All that was backstory there from World War One time.
I see.
I guess that's why this was 11 pages. Of course I'll go, Grover. Leave right. I'll leave right away. The wizard races to the airport. Taking off with the grace of an easel, the wizard speeds towards San Pedro, where one of his mystery subs is anchored. Now, San Pedro is a city in California, just to let you know. I don't know if there are any
Yeah.
other cities in the states named San Pedro, but I do know of one that's in California. 2 hours and 45 minutes after leaving New York, the wizard lands at Los Angeles. A few minutes later, the wizard is at San Pedro, entering the mystery sub, powered by supermotor. He dives as soon as he reaches deep water. I'm out about 5 hours from San Pedro now. Must be near Pearl Harbor. Anchoring his U-boat at a hidden coral island, the wizard sets the wheels of his superbrain in motion to determine the plot. A super bomb is hidden in the torpedo room of submarine 5-724. I must get there at once. Off to the submarine base, swimming swiftly through the murky water, the wizard suddenly finds himself in a mine catching net. Whoa. When hoisted into the air, the wizard recognizes the boat as a Jetsonian craft. Now, this was particularly they did this particularly more in quality comics quite a bit. They'd literally make up to kind of play off the war a little bit. They would actually make up countries. Quality really did it in many of their earlier stories that we'll see in times to come here. But anyways, they're crazy if they think this net will hold me. Leaping to the deck, the wizard is met with a hail of machine gun bullets. My high velocity propulsion pistol is more than a match for their machine guns. I must get to the submarine base. No time to lose. This is a sub. I must hurry. Tim, what do you think of the story so far?
It's all right.
All right.
Is he using actual magic or is it tricks? Because he seems like Doctor Strange before there was a Doctor Strange.
Locked. Well, he calls himself the wizard because he's a super brain, which means that his powers are based on his high level of intelligence, apparently. Locked, and the bomb is in the next compartment. I'll melt the door with my secret chemical F-22-X. Oh, look at that. We got the white cape on, of course.
Right.
Just in time. Another moment and the fleet would have been blown to bits. Oh, just in time. Okay. Grover Whitney, Naval Intelligence Subfleet is saved. Jetsonian battleship is at latitude 20, longitude 158. Proceed at once. Get him, you Jetsonian. The game is over. Get him up, you Jetsonians. Get him up, you Jetsonians. The game is up. Game is over. And there we go. So interesting how 2 years before the actual attack they were using Pearl Harbor as almost like a gateway into the war. Hey, Tim?
Yeah. I think they've done it. You said they did it with another story somewhere.
Oh, yeah, West Pointer was the other one. Let's see where we're at on time here. So we're already at an hour 19, so yeah, I think I did make good time here then for this. I need to. Let me get to the story here, and then. West Point. All right, I need to step away from the computer for a quick moment. Tim, so if you want to talk about your book a little bit for a moment while I'm gone, I just need to do a couple of things real quick here. I'll be right back.
Okay, so well, Melvin 3 will take place not exactly after Melvin 2, but definitely a week or so after the events of Melvin 2. The first half of the book is actually going to be a long chase scene where Melvin and Alice are being chased by these two bounty hunters. You're going to learn about one of Melvin's abilities. I'm just going to spoil it. Melvin can regenerate body parts. You'll see his head get taken off by an explosion. His head, and then you'll see his head grow back pretty much. And then the rest of the book, it will definitely have Alice dealing with the results of her sneaking out, and Melvin struggling with whether he wants to continue just being a mercenary or actually do the right thing by staying staying in the city of Trig, which is the name of the hidden city, or just getting his money and going. And Alice and Melvin are going to definitely get a whole lot closer, if you know what I mean, in issue 3. So.
All right, I'm back. So hopefully everybody's having a good time here. Anyways, this will be the last story we'll look at tonight. West Pointer. Keith Cornell, mental and physical marvel from the hills of Kentucky, receives an appointment to West Point. It sure is a big thrill being invited to Senator Crockett's home. Keith Cornell, 19-year-old Kentucky mountaineer, is a collateral descendant of President Andrew Jackson, son of a World War hero. Keith was orphaned at the age of 5 when both of his parents succumbed to the ravages of pneumonia epidemic. Um, so yeah, so they're probably talking about like the Spanish flu. I'm guessing because if he's 19 here, and this is supposed to be so 14 years prior. That would have been 1920. Well, that might that might have
Probably, yeah.
yeah. Reared by a poor relative, Keith's life has been one of dire poverty. Son, the editor of the Times Dispatch told me your story, your wonderful scholastic record, the hardships you endured. I didn't mind the hardships, sir. I know about that. When a boy tramps 4 miles to school each day, he deserves a lot of credit. I was anxious to better myself, sir. Kentucky, tramping their way to school. Does that remind you of anybody, Tim?
Wait, wait, say that again.
A young man who tramps his way to school in Kentucky. That kind of remind you of anybody?
No.
Have you ever read the biography of Abraham Lincoln?
Nope.
Yeah, I have. Some of his early, as a school kid, he would actually he was born and raised in a log cabin house and would often have to like travel quite a bit to school.
Oh, you mean hitchhiking?
No, he wouldn't hitch. You couldn't hitchhike back in 1809 or in the early 1800s.
Oh, I guess I don't know then.
Tramps basically what I mean is what I think tramps basically means is walk a long ways, like travel a long distance, on
Oh,
foot.
okay.
I invited you here, Keith, for a reason. You've proved your worth to society. Now it's up to society to prove its worth to you. What can we do to help you get a start in life? Well, Senator, my father was an Army officer, captain in the 77th Division, the Bluegrass Mountaineers. Land sakes, you're not the son of John Cornell. Why, we were buddies in the war. Single-handed, he took a machine gun nest, making possible the taking of the Hindenburg line. Son, I want to help you in the name of the American people. All I want, Senator, is an appointment to West Point. A few weeks later, the most perfect, the most perfect heart found in a boy. Remarkable. It never has been done. A boy with a perfect mark. Wow, they're really building this guy up, aren't they? Hey,
Yep.
Tim.
Yeah. Yep.
At his cabin, I passed. I'm accepted. I'm a West Pointer. And thank you for taking care of me all these years, Uncle Joe. I felt it was my duty, Keith. Off for West Point. Well, the pants fit all right. They should. They were made to measure. The West Pointer. Perfect fit, Keith. The life of a cadet is a hard one. Hours of tedious work. Forward march. Target practice. 5 hours of brain work daily. In the mess hall. Hours of boning up. Studying, that is. So they play football. So they play football down in Kentucky. Play football down in Kentucky, yeah. Well, not as good as you fellows in the East play it, I guess. Drop the hillbilly, fellas. Attaboy, Keith. Show the wise guys up. Through the line. Look at that hillbilly go. He's dynamite. Eluding one tackler, Keith straight arms the last man standing and goes for a touchdown. Touchdown! Taking off his shoe, Keith attempts the conversion barefooted. And it's good! Jealous of Keith's magnificent plays, Ned Norton, varsity star and boxing champ of the academy, attempts to bully Keith. Go to your room. You can't bully me. That, sir, is an insult. I demand satisfaction in the gymnasium. I'll teach you to respect an upperclassman.
This is highly inappropriate.
What was that, Tim?
I said this is highly inappropriate.
What's highly inappropriate?
I'm making a joke. He demands satisfaction, which probably meant something different back then. But I've heard somebody like, no.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, back then it basically means I want to fight you because I want to prove that I'm bigger, badder, and meaner than you. Whereas I guess what you're saying is today it might have a slightly different connotation, right? Right, Tim?
Yes, I do.
All right. Keith's dander is up. He's out to get his man. He swings with a vicious left, followed by a terrific right. Yeah, I don't think this guy I think at this point this guy's wishing he hadn't picked a fight with him. What would you say, Tim?
I suppose so. That's the way the story is going.
Keith Cornell wins the respect and admiration of the upperclassmen. Let's be friends, sir. Okay, Mr. Cornell. You've proven your mettle. All right, and that's that. So I said we were already past the hour mark, so let's see, we're at an hour 34, so I think it'll be a good time to. And Jason Myers has another question here. What's your favorite Quizno, British Columbia? I have no idea. Anyways, so how did you like the stories tonight, Tim?
They're all right.
Metal's hey Metal. Got here a little late, man, but you can always go back and catch the
What's with the elbow cough, Metal?
That's just how he says hi. I think that's what it is in the YouTube page there. You can help out, of course, by liking and sharing the stream. And we get some more people watching.
Or signing up for Melvin 3 only on Fund My Comic. Don't be a chump and sign up. because it launches July 29th. Fool.
All right. So with that, then, guess it would be a good time to start, as I said, start winding down a bit here. So,
How dare you elbow cough equals dab? I demand satisfaction. Pistols at dawn, sir.
anyways, all right. So, elbow cough equals dab. Okay.
This will not stand, sir.
All right. So, anyways, with all that being said, today is Friday, April the 28th, 2023. So let's take a look back at this day in niche history. History! So first off, we're going to head back all the way back to 1933, 90 years ago today. As on this date, 90 years ago today, in 1933, the Van Buren Studios short, Hook and Ladder Hokum, premiered in movie theaters on this day. Tom and Jerry. Now, mind you, this is not the same Tom and Jerry you might be thinking of. This is not the Cat and Mouse. It's not from MGM. Prior to Tom, Cat, and Jerry Mouse, I think there was another animated feature, set of theatrical shorts with the characters Tom and Jerry in it, who were, I think, human, if I understand correctly. So on this date, 90 years ago today, from Van Buren Studios, Hook and Ladder Hokum premiered in movie theaters. Tom and Jerry are firemen working to rescue the top floor residents of a burning apartment building. So Gus Wicke portrayed the former. Gus Wicke was probably best known as, I think he was the first voice of Bluto in the Popeye cartoons. In the Fleischer Popeye cartoons. So, yeah, so there we go with that one. All right. So anyway, so there we go with that one. Now moving on to the next piece of niche history. Let's see now. As on this date in 1999, which was 24 years ago today, this date 24 years ago today, the 150th issue of Laugh Comics Digest magazine from Archi Comics went on sale on newsstands on this date back in 1999. Sold for $1.99, was 96 pages. So on this date back in 1999, 24 years ago today, 150th issue of Laugh Comics Digest magazine went on sale on this date. There we go with that one. And finally, the last piece in each history for tonight here. On this date, 20 years ago today, in 2003, the night after, I believe this was the night after the In Your House pay-per-view, from the Fleet Center in Boston, the WWF held its Monday Night Raw event. The event in the main event, saw Eric Bischoff defeat Trish Stratus in a match in which, if Trish won, she'd get a women's title shot, shot at the women's title in the WWE. If Bischoff won, Trish would have to spend the night with him. So I think this is around the time they were really doing a lot of stuff with Trish like that. Among some of the other matches include Booker T defeating Christian via DQ, Kane and RVD retaining the World Tag Team Championships over Ric Flair and Triple H of Evolution. Rodney Mack defeated White Boy number 2 in a 5-minute White Boy challenge with, of course, Teddy Long in his corner. And this was supposedly the night that Sylvain Grenier made his apparent in-ring debut, from what I understand, albeit he's not mentioned in the results here. So, but anyways, Sylvain Grenier, who would form a team, La Resistance with Rene Dupree for a while there at WWE. So, anyways, that's all I got for you guys tonight. So I hope everybody had a good time tonight. Tim, if you can stick around for a couple minutes, for post show, that'd be appreciated.
Right.
All right, and with that, guys.
Before I go, if anybody's in Idaho, May 20th is Authorpalooza near the trolley station near the library from 10 to 2. So if you're ever in the area, feel free to stop by.
Oh, so you're going to be at a con in Idaho?
Yeah, con of sorts. It's for authors. I guess they don't care what medium you use.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, so we'll be back here, of course, on Sunday for our weekend edition, where we'll have our panel here with us. And Tim, hopefully, you'll join us to give your take on what we read tonight. Metal just took a shot at you there, Tim. Nobody lives in Idaho. That's just a myth. Actually, I know of two. I know of at least 3 people. Well, I guess.
You got me, Metal. I'm a myth too. I don't exist. You're talking. Mike's on here talking to nobody.
No, let's see. I know you and your girlfriend live in Idaho, and then one of my old high school friends lives in Idaho with her husband there. So I know of at least 4 people. So,
you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, my girlfriend's in the Philippines.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she lived in the same state as you.
No. You
guys have a long distance relationship, don't you?
Yeah. Don't worry. Plans are in the works to make that to make that distance shorter.
All right. Well, with that, I think everybody, as I said, hopefully we'll catch everybody back on Sunday for the weekend edition. We'll have a panel here to talk all things Nietzsche. Tim, I hope you'll be back to give your take on what we read tonight for that, among other things. And next Friday, of course, I was able to lock it in. RJ will be joining me as we will be looking back. We'll be continuing our look back through October of 1939. As next week, we'll be looking at comics that went on sale from Dell Comics and Harvey Comics. So, of course, Harvey was known under a different name back then. Of course, that will mean Shock Gibson. Some of you might remember seeing him. With that, I thank you all for being here, and I will see you all on Sunday. Bye.
Peace out.